The World Cup is just around the corner. It's only 7 days away. And by the time I finish this video, it will be 6 days before the World Cup begins, before that inaugural match between Russia and Saudi Arabia that will happen next Thursday. And what I'm going to be doing in these next couple of days leading up to that big match is that I'm going to be making the prediction of all 8 groups that's going to be in this World Cup. And originally I was going to just do a single video where I'm going to make a prediction of all 8 of these groups, but I decided to just do a singular video, and that I'm just going to do a prediction of a group every single day. Now, because we still only have 7 days left in the World Cup, and since there are 8 groups in the World Cup, I am going to have one day where I'm going to have to make 2 group prediction. And that day will be the final day before the World Cup begins. And also, I am actually wearing a neutral color right now. So, people that watch this video and whenever I make these predictions, you can't put in the comments and said that I wear this team and that I am clearly favoring this team of making out of the group, or if you're watching this video after all the group stage is done in the World Cup, you can't say that I jinxed that team by wearing their colors. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin with Group A. And Group A includes the team that has the host Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and also Uruguay. And in 4th place in Group A, and this shouldn't be very hard, this actually is a no-brainer, is going to be Saudi Arabia. And the reason why I say Saudi Arabia is going to finish dead last is because I really think, in my opinion, this is probably the weakest team in this group and one of the weakest team in the tournament. I mean, all 3 of these teams, they are always going to look into this match against Saudi Arabia, and they are expecting to get out of that match with all 3 points. And if one of these 3 teams, when they play against Saudi Arabia and they stumble and not get all 3 points, it will really affect the position they're going to be finishing at the end of this group stage. And maybe it might even determine the fate of them either making out of the group or getting eliminated from the tournament. But unfortunately, I really think that Saudi Arabia is going to finish dead last. They might get lucky if one of these 3 teams stumble and maybe get like a point, but I really don't think they're going to do that much. I mean, I heard that coming into this World Cup, they actually had 2 different managerial changes after they qualified into the World Cup. And if you're a player that have saw 2 different manager after you qualify from the World Cup, that must not give you a lot of confidence coming into the World Cup. I mean, most likely the new manager that they got probably just kind of start learning how the team is, and I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of trust between the players and the manager if the manager has just arrived a couple of maybe weeks or months ago with this team and trying to get this team prepared for the World Cup. So I think Saudi Arabia is going to finish 4th place. But in 3rd place, and I'm actually going to put 2nd place too, because I'm going to be talking about these 2 teams and why I'm still having a bit of a debate about these 2 teams and which place they're going to finish. And I actually also have a debate in terms of my head and also in terms of my heart. Now, my heart says that Egypt is not going to make it out of the group and Russia is going to make it through. But my head says that Russia is not going to be making out of the group and that Egypt will be the one that make it out of the group. And I don't think there should be a bit of debate about this. A couple of weeks ago, have not Mohamed Salah got himself injured in the Champions League final. I mean, he will still be available for Egypt in this World Cup. He is clear to play for Egypt in this World Cup, but he's not going to be 100% fit. And that could be a huge blow for Egypt and could be a deciding factor for Egypt, because if Salah is not 100% fit, if he's not going to be like what he has done all season with Liverpool, then this team is going to struggle, and that there's really no other goal scorer on this team besides Mohamed Salah. I mean, Egypt right now is just being they're literally heavily rely on Mohamed Salah to guide them way into the knockout stage. And I know that in the past, a lot of people would say that you can't just only rely on one player to carry you to the next stage of the World Cup. But in this case, I think Egypt have to rely on that. And it wouldn't be the worst thing, because I really think that they actually are in a group that is pretty easy. I mean, Saudi Arabia and Russia are not obviously the best team in the world. I think the only tough team that they're going to get by, and probably they're going to lose, is going to be Uruguay, who you will know that they're going to be finished in first place. But really, I think the difference, and really the only way that will determine whether Egypt or Russia is going to make it out of the group is when they face each other. And I think they face each other in match day number 2, and I think the winner of that match will move on to the group stage. Like, I really think that if one of these teams win that match, they not only get 3 points, but they can maybe propel themselves into second place and maybe get in a very good position heading into the final day of the group stage. So I really think the winner of that match will be really big. And even if that match does remain as a tie, I think in some way that tie could potentially favor Egypt. Because one of the reasons why I have a debate about Russia about coming into this World Cup, and why, there is a lot of question about certainly this team squad, and certainly a lot of fans in Russia are not happy with their manager and the selection for the World Cup, and how they left out a lot of experience and much better veteran player on their team. And the other issue that Russia has is that they literally do not have a reliable center back on their team, and that the defense is going to be one of the weakest part about this team. And if we get into this matchup between Russia and Egypt, and let's say if this game ends in a tie, then goal differential might be the next big important thing. And if you're a team that has a leaky defense, and you also have, and I know Russia is also a team that does not have a very good attack going forward too, then that is not going to be good in terms of your goal differential. They are going to be potentially concede a lot of goals against some best team like Uruguay, or even maybe Saudi Arabia. And that is going to be the thing that will lead to the downfall of Russia. Now, the only reason why I put Russia in second is, one, we don't know if Mohamed Salah is going to be fully fit and really make a big impact for this Egyptian national team. I mean, besides Salah, if you look at this Egyptian national team, who else you would say that he could really kind of carry them? I mean, El Neni obviously is not going to do that. I mean, he can't even barely get into the Arsenal team, and you expect him to do some good things with this Egyptian national team. And obviously Omar Gabor is not going to be that key factor of that Egyptian national team. And again, he is another player that can barely get himself into his own team, which is LAFC. So that will be one factor of if Russia or Egypt is going to make it out of the group. And the second factor is that home crowd of Russia. And believe it or not, that home crowd is going to be a very hostile home crowd when Egypt face Russia. And it's going to be interesting to see, can they overcome that hostility and maybe win that match. And if they do, like I said, I really think that they're going to be moving on to the next round and make it out of the group instead of Russia. But with all that being said, in first place, and this shouldn't be hard either. It is going to be Uruguay. Well, these two teams battle each other for a spot into the knockout stage. I really think Uruguay is going to make it out of this group. And I really think that this is probably the last World Cup window for Uruguay to actually do something and actually trying to make it deep into the tournament, because their star player, Edison Cavani, Luis Suarez, and also Diego Godin are already turned 30, and that by the time the next World Cup comes, they will be in pretty much in their mid-30s, and that is going to be a time where they just cannot rely on those guys anymore to potentially score those goals. So I really think that this is the last opportunity for Uruguay to make something happen. You know, they're definitely going to make it out of this group. I'll be shocked if they don't make it out of this group. But once they make it out of the group, it's just a question of how far they get there. They need to obviously get far in the group if they would consider the fact that they got 3 of the best player in the world, and how it turns out to be a successful kind of campaign when those guys were on that team. But yeah, either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little prediction of Group A. Let me know in the comments below what's your prediction, where exactly each of these 4 teams is going to finish. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my Group B prediction.